Hello, and a warm welcome back to yet another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two more films that I have rated at almost the very top of my pyramid of films that I watched in 2025. These are more S-tier films, different in tone, I would say, even still to previous films mentioned in these previous videos. Yeah, let's just dive right in, shall we? So this video is going to feature Jaws. 1975 with 28 Days Later, 2002. So we have Jaws, which interestingly, now I'm willing to be corrected here, but based on my research, this was originally rated for children 5 plus on its original viewing with the original rating system in 1975. It was later re-rated to PG, which generally lands around like 7, 8 plus, and then it was re-rated at 12A. But I just found that interesting as a little side tangent with this film because I don't know if putting a 5-year-old in front of this film is the best idea. But anyway, I digress. We've also got 28 Days Later, 2002, which is most definitely a 15 rated film, and for good reason. So this, you've got Jaws coming in at 124 minutes, so just a few minutes there over 2 hours, and we've got 28 Days Later coming in at 113 minutes, so just under 2 hours. So again, around that kind of 2 hour mark. So it gets extra. I give it extra half points here or there for the time. We've got Jaws coming in with a 3.9 Letterboxd rating. I think that's below where it should be, guys. Come on, we've got to pump that up. Rotten Tomato critics, 97%. That's more like it. Rotten Tomato users, 91%. IMDb rating of 8.1 out of 10. And directed by none other than Steven Spielberg. 28 Days Later, we've got coming in with a 3.7 Letterboxd. Rotten Tomato critics score at 87%, and Rotten Tomato users score at 85%. IMDb rating of 7.5 out of 10, directed by Danny Boyle. What is there to say about these two films? I've called this pairing Death Itself. I think that's very relevant. I've forgotten how absolutely terrifyingly filmed Jaws is, in my opinion. I saw it in the cinema last year for the 50th anniversary, so this was one of my favourite cinema visits last year. There seemed to be a lot of anniversaries going on last year for films that I was looking forward to, so glad I made the time. But for this, it was 50th anniversary. I can't believe how absolutely terrifying. I mean, this is called a thriller film, but it's kind of horrifying in places and quite grotesque. It's yeah. I mean, it's ultimately about a shark that is in a local alcove, and the local sheriff and the conflict between should we shut the beach or not. Essentially, that's what it is, and then should we hire people to go out and deal with the shark. But the shark's not CGI, and I think it's some kind of mechanical construction that I just think works. Obviously now with the passage of time, you can kind of look at it and go, well, that's clearly not a real shark, but I'd imagine, and we'd have to interview people that saw it at the cinema at the time, but I don't know, I think it really still holds up, seeing it for the 50th anniversary, seeing it in the cinema, the way it ends as well, it's just kind of like dun 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 credits, doesn't drag out, lots of post-shark monologue. Yeah, this feels kind of terrifying. kind of, I'd imagine I could see how this film would inspire fear in basically everyone that was going to the beach everywhere, even in places where maybe there aren't even sharks. Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh now, but I'm sure at the time there was a lot of concern from beach owners as to the potential damage it would do to their holiday goers. I suppose, yeah, this is kind of like Alien on the ground, in the same way you'd say Alien is kind of Jaws in space. I love this film, basically, is what I'm trying to broadly get around to here. I think it's definitely better than a 3.9 out of 5. I think it's more close to that kind of 91% solid 9 out of 10 kind of vibe. Jaws won 3 Academy Awards for Best Film Editing, Best Original Dramatic Score, of course, the Best Original Dramatic Score, which was by none other than John Williams, with that absolutely classic melody. And then we've got another award here for Best Sound. It was also nominated for Best Picture, which it didn't win, but it was recognised. I believe I was reading as well. Wikipedia. Spielberg was quite frustrated that he didn't win Best Director for this one, and I can see why, to be honest. But at the same time, I haven't actually seen the films that he lost to, so I can't really fully comment on that. But yeah, this is about close to a horror film without being a horror film as you can get, I think. Very thrilling. Very. I was very engaged throughout it. You know, it's very. Again, really, I would say lack of use of special effects. It felt like. I mean, maybe I missed them, but yeah, it just felt like they were really in a small town. They were really on a beach. They were really on a boat. There was really a shark. You know, it just felt very kind of real. Um, so yeah, I really enjoyed watching Jaws for the 50th anniversary last year. Big thumbs up from me. Gets an S tier ranking. And the other one in today's video is 28 Days Later. So this is a film that I watched, believe it or not, also for the first time last year, and I kind of love it. I think because of the horror, I've never been great with horror, generally speaking. I've generally avoided horror throughout my life. I think the first one I watched was Saw, which is kind of a special breed of horror, isn't it? It's kind of like torture porn kind of stuff. But in terms of strict zombie end of the world horror, I kind of love the way this is filmed as well. It's this kind of like scatty kind of filming style where everything's fine, and then suddenly it's not. And I kind of love that. I kind of love the fact that the zombies, I'm just going to call them zombies, that they run. I love the fact they run, because I again mentioned it in the video that featured 28 Weeks Later that I enjoyed the Left 4 Dead franchise. I love running zombies, basically. I love the idea that if a zombie's sprinting at me, oh my god, am I quicker than it? Can I outrun it? So yeah, Cillian Murphy's, again, another actor that keeps popping up in films that I watch. I kind of love him. Christopher Eccleston is really good in this, in my opinion. Brendan Gleeson is solid in this. Naomi Harris. We've got Megan Burns in there as well. Yeah, this comes in as well around 113 minutes, so it's under that 2-hour mark. I just think this is, yeah, it's. I'm sure I was jumping when I was watching it last year as well. I watched it on digital on Amazon, and yeah, there were some moments that made me jump, which I kind of appreciate. I don't know. I kind of like to think of myself as I age, I get less jumpy, but then when I do jump to something, I think, oh, okay, maybe I can still be jumped. But yeah, I really rate this film, and I'm kind of really looking forward to rewatching it with a little bit more space, potentially in the run up to 28 Years Later Part 3. We will see, but yeah, huge thumbs up for this film. I love the way it's filmed, love the way it's framed, and the setting. I mean, when Cillian Murphy's character Jim is walking around London and it's just deserted, oh, as someone who lives, you know, broadly connected to London and has been around London enough to kind of appreciate where he's walking and what he's doing, the idea that a zombie outbreak, has completely wiped everyone out, a la The Walking Dead, you know, it's essentially a symmetry with the way that Rick Grimes wakes up in the hospital bed. Is essentially what's happened here with Jim and Cillian Murphy's character. And there's something about an empty London that just soothes me. No offence to people that live in London, but there's something about, like, it just. Can you imagine if a zombie outbreak and a virus wiped out London and it was as empty as it is in this film? Incredible. And yeah, I just really enjoy this film. It's like, feels like, even though I've watched horrors since growing up to now, I don't know, this feels like a good gateway into horror. I think if you can get through this, maybe you'd be more open to horror than you think, because there are some jump scares in there, and there's some absolutely grotesque moments that I really appreciate it. But yeah, sad it's a little bit lower rated than I would have hoped for. Rotten Tomato 87%, Rotten Tomato user 85%, IMDb 7.5 out of 10, Letterboxd rating at 3.7. Come on, people, it's got to be a little bit higher than that. Directed by Danny Boyle. And from what I can see, this didn't win any Academy Awards either. So it seems like it was snubbed at the awards with the Academy. But I think it was winning other awards. I can see here with the Saturn Awards and the Empire Awards for other publications. So fair enough. And I believe also, as a tidbit for this, I believe it was announced that a 4K remaster of this film will be released with a steelbook cover. I looked it up earlier on HMV. I couldn't see it yet, but hopefully this is out soon. But yeah, two fantastic thriller slash horror slash kind of all about death films for you there in my S tier near the top of my pyramid. So there we go, that's the video. Thank you very much for watching, listening, second screening, and perhaps I'll see you in a future video. Ta-ra for now.